Let's go over some licks. So in this little backing track, we're playing these chords. We're playing a really simple chord progression of D to C to G to D. Now, what makes this chord progression interesting is the C chord right here. So when you go from the D to the C, that gives you some cool sounding notes to play. Because when we're moving from the D chord, we can stick to like the D major pentatonic, and when we get to the C chord, we can spice it up by throwing in the C note. And that is a contrast to the D major pentatonic chord, because it's the flat seventh of D. It's not in the D major pentatonic scale. And if you want to see what I mean really quick, let's play the D major pentatonic scale really quick in this position. So. Now, when I get up to the top, I'll throw in the C note. It's a Mixolydian type of sound there. C is the flat 7 of D, and the flat 7 is what makes a Mixolydian scale a Mixolydian scale. Mixolydian scale is a major scale with a flatted 7. So it's a cool note to emphasize when we get to that chord in the chord progression. Like my last few lessons, the thing I've been talking about, the thing I'm gonna talk about is playing the right chord tones over each chord, making your licks sound good over the chords by emphasizing the right notes when you're playing over those chords. So in this case, the C note is really important. In each of the 3 licks I'm going to cover here, I emphasize that C note when I get to the C chord in the progression, and it sounds really cool. So the takeaway from this lesson is, of course, the licks, but also the notes we're playing and the chords that are behind those notes. So this first lick, let's go through it. I'm going to go through 3 of them today, and if you want the full solo transcription in the backing track, you'll have to join my site, guitarlickdojo.com. Definitely check it out. But let's go through it. So the first part is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I play through the D major pentatonic scale, basically. But once I get up to the C chord, I emphasize that C note. And then once I get back to G and D, then I go back to basically D major pentatonic and emphasize the chord tones over G and D. So the real outside part of the licks here is when we're playing over that C chord. So let's break it down. So the first part of the lick is this. You can also pick both notes, 7, 9. And we're obviously playing this over the D. Works really well over the D because we're landing on the D note. Then we do this. So this part is in D major pentatonic, right? Those are all in the D major pentatonic scale. But when I slide down from 7 to 9, so I do this, the next note I land on is the C note, the 5th fret on the 3rd string. That is not in the D major pentatonic scale, and that fits really well when we get to that C chord change. So the background chords are doing this. And we're playing this. When you play that over the chords, it sounds really nice. One of the key parts of the lick. The last part of the lick, when I'm going from G to D, it sounds like this. And you can make many different variations on this lick. When I play it in the video, it sounds like this. Something like that, but you can do different variations of that. I'm just doing 5, 4, 5, 4, pull off to the 2 there, so, and then 4 on the 4 string, and then 2, 4, 2, hammer on, pull off. Slide up and back, so a lot of different variations of how you can play a lick like that. The key part of the lick is this last part, actually. That simple slide up and slide back. Why is that the key part of the lick? It's the key part of the lick because we're going from G to D. In this last note, that goes really well with the D chord. We're landing on the major third of D, the F sharp note there. And we're sliding up to the A, the 5th of D. So really nice transition, that lick from the G to the D chord. So that's it. So let's break it down, lick just piece by piece, and hear again how that sounds over the chord. So this first part, and that's the D to C. And then the last part, so that's it. That's the whole lick. When you play it all together, it sounds like this. Something like that. Timing a little off there, but that's the lick. Okay, so for this next lick, similar concept. We're playing at a different area of the fretboard here. So again, emphasizing that C chord when we get to it. In fact, this lick starts basically on the C, right from that transition from the D to the C. So the first part of the lick, that's right when we get to the D. That note right there is the C note. So just to hear that contrast again. That's the interesting note. It sounds really good to emphasize that note when you get to the C chord. And don't play it when you're not playing the C chord, right? That would sound weird to play that when you're playing over the D chord or the G chord. And playing it only over that C gives it that extra impact. The next part of the lick where we're going from G back to D is basically this. That's going from the G to the D. The key note there is the one we're landing on, the A note, which is the 5th of D. So again, this lick is basically going from the C to the G to the D. Altogether, it sounds like this. Okay, last lick, playing at yet another different area of the fretboard here. But again, very similar concept. We're emphasizing the C note over the C chord. We're starting off on the D in this lick to the C into the G. So we're just playing over that portion of the chord change. We're not going back to the D in this lick. So just D, C, G. So the first part of the lick, that works really well over the D, doesn't it? Why does that work really well over the D? Well, the 12th fret bent up, that is the F sharp, that is the third, major third of D. Sounds really good over the D. Basically playing a D major pentatonic. Now this next note, we're getting to the C. You can probably guess what note we're gonna play next. The C note. And instead of playing it straight, we're playing it by bending up on the 12th fret on the second string. So the lick so far is this. Kind of an interesting sound. Again, imagine how weird that would sound if we played that note over a D chord. At least if we hung on that note over the D chord. You could get away with it, but and it sounds kind of cool actually. It gives it the dominant sound. But in this case, I think it's cooler to make the emphasis happen over the C chord rather than on the D chord, and make that note really pop and stand out. So and that's where we end up on the lick. So you can do that really simple. 12, 10, and then bend up on the 13. Or you can do what I did in the video and do a little pull off first and then do it. And we bend up on that 13th fret. That goes really well with the G chord. It's the D note, and that is the 5th of G. So sounds really good to land on that. So we're moving really nicely from the D with this part, and then to the C chord, and then with this next part, that goes really well with the G. So hope you got some ideas out of this. Again, what I'm hoping you get out of this is not just the licks, although if you like the licks, certainly play them. The big part is the musical concept. So I hope you get that, and I hope you are able to take that and apply it to your own licks.